Hello and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time we discovered how physical education is being carried out in a school of only 6 students. We also got to get a little Amani time as she injured herself and Yuuji carried her off to the infirmary only to find that there were no doctors, so he had to treat her himself. Let's continue. I prefer eating my meals alone. It's just easier that way. For one thing, I don't have to go through the hassle of pretending to enjoy what I'm eating. In the first place, there's no cafeteria or lunch counter in the school. The facilities themselves apparently exist, but after all, you can count the number of students and permanent staff here on the fingers of your hand. Spending the money to run a lunchroom for the benefit of that small number of people would be completely inefficient by any way you look at it. So then you might ask, how does lunch work at this place? It's a pretty simple system. When we arrive at the classroom in the morning, we can write our names in a notebook on the podium. Every lunch period, a supplier delivers food to everyone who's signed up. Boxed lunch catering, as they call it. Of course, it's completely up to every individual student whether we take advantage of the catering. Because the menu is basically left up to the supplier, it's possible to sign up only when they offering something you want. Personally, I haven't asked for a delivery even once. It's not that I'm worried about saving money or that I can't trust the food made by others. I don't have any religious principles against eating meat either. I'm just not interested enough in what I eat to bother. They say it's a common result of being raised in a food-poor environment, and considering the time I spent living together with my master and her crappy cooking, I guess it's only natural. A full stomach and adequate nutrition is really all I need. Incidentally, the lunch I prepared for myself today is 3 plain salt rice balls. My side dish was also a quick job. After frying onions and garlic, I threw them together to cook with some canned tomatoes and kidney beans, adding a packet of chili powder for seasoning. As my master used to say, humans ain't that fragile. You won't starve as long as you got beans to eat. But I guess going with nothing but the basics is a bit too bleak for me. No point in living like a monk, so I've also brought an apple for dessert. Kind of feels like I'm eating nothing but red stuff, but there's no point in worrying about a meal's appearance. This is perfectly adequate for my needs. Hey there, Yuuji. So now she dropped the horrific... What? Don't just call me Yuuji, woman. Well, I'm your big sister now, right? Using an honorific for my little brother would just be weird. I don't remember giving you permission to not use one. I don't remember you forbidding it either. Okay, it's now forbidden. My goodness, what a tyrant. In that case, I have a condition of my own. What do you want? If you call me Oni-chan, I'll stop calling you Yuuji. What you think, Yuuji-chan? Spare me, not even my parents ever called me that. Come on now, why not give it a try? Say Oni-chan for me. Ridiculous. What kind of an attitude is that? In that case, it's Yuuji for you, got it? Do whatever you want. I intend to, Yuuji. And? You need something? Nah, it's just that I spotted you starting the tragic lunch ball by yourself. Come on, let's eat together. No, I'll pass. Take your volunteer work to Makina, why don't you? Of course, Makina is going to be with us too. Makina! Oh, your call? Yes, I did, but can you please try to speak properly? Nee? Oni-chan's got a box lunch too? What's she eating? In one ear and out the other. Rice balls and an apple. And what's this red stuff? Baked beans. Those look kinda tasty. Want to try some? Yeah! Jeez, don't beg people for food like that. You'd think we weren't feeding you anything at home. Delicious! Amane, give me some bread. This would definitely work with bread. Listen to me when I'm talking to you. Oh, don't give me oh and you. What are you feeding Makina? Like I said, beans. She just had a mouthful, hardly a big deal. Beans? Whoa, what? What's with the depressing, lonely businessman in his 40s lunch? Beans are nutritious, there's no problem. It's pretty dang good, you know? Let's see. Hey you, don't just start eating my food. I guess it's pretty good, but this is canned stuff, isn't it? Well, the beans and the tomatoes, yeah. I love canned food too! Look, stop eating already, this is all I've got. Speaking of canned food, I've been wondering this for a long time. How do they peel those canned mandarin orange slices so perfectly? They don't. They melt the skin off with acid and alkali. Seriously? That sounds kind of bad for you. Don't worry, the chemicals are neutralized and they wash the fruit with water afterwards. It's perfectly safe. That's a relief. Hey you! The girl's already halfway through my lunch. Sorry, as an apology we'll split some of our lunch with you, okay? It's fine, don't worry about it. I'm not desperate enough to start stealing other people's food. Come on now, we got plenty, no need to hold back. Behold! With that exclamation, Amanda brings out a huge wrapped lunch. Looked like she actually got a number of boxes stacked on top of each other. Feast your eyes on a true work of culinary art. Opening the lid, she reveals a box packed with a rich variety of vividly colored side dishes, practically indistinguishable from a delivery lunch from some well-established restaurant. I see. No wonder the neighbors call this place the Money Sink Academy. Pretty luxurious for a school lunch. This isn't one of the catered lunches. I made it. Seriously? Haven't I already mentioned? My family runs a Kyoto-style restaurant in Kanda. Kyoto food in a district of Tokyo. My mom's the daughter of an old school Kyoto restaurant, and my dad's the cook from Kanda. No kidding. So that's where Amana's infrequent lapses into that weird Kansai accent comes from. And to think of it, the short-tempered, vaguely masculine side of her personality makes a lot more sense knowing that her father's from some blue-collar neighborhood like Kanda. Amana is crazy good at cooking, you know. She's not a big fan of meat, so we don't get much of that. But what she does make is super delicious. You don't eat meat, Amana? Now that you mention it, I don't see much in a way of meat dishes inside the box. Bit of a surprise. I had you down as a carnivore for sure. Well, it's not like I'm a vegetarian, and I can cook meat just fine. But, you know, if I get too much protein, I'll end up growing even bigger, which I kinda like to avoid. What, your breast getting too heavy? I'm talking about my height. Well, I guess you can't exactly shed inches the way you can pounds. Of course, cutting back on meat now isn't going to make Amana any less imposingly tall. That said, if she keeps a careful eye on her diet, it might help maintain the status quo. Bit of a reactionary approach, considering she's already pretty damn tall. But I guess that's just your typical passive Japanese mindset at work. As JB once told me, there aren't many Japanese who go to the dentist before the teeth start to hurt. But I guess boys want their meat, huh? I'll make you some next time, so make do with this for today. I'm not a huge fan of meat myself, but more importantly, I'll take care of my own food expenses. You don't have to worry about my tastes. I'm making Makina share every day anyway, so adding a little more isn't that big of a deal anyway. No need to hold back. Why are you so determined to stick your nose into my eating habits? Well, you're my little bro, right? What? You're my big bro, right? What? Right? I don't get it. In other words, they just want to play house. Or maybe somebody, say the principal, ordered them to become friends with Kazumi-kun for some reason. Either way, I prefer to maintain some distance. I can't be as casual about this as a normal student might be. I have too many things I'd like to keep for myself. I mean, isn't it a little sad to be eating rice and beans for your lunch at your age? I'm used to simple food. Okay, that too. The whole I'm used to being bullied thing, that's also pretty pathetic. Just what have you been eating until now? Well, I don't know. Nothing special. When I was a young kid, I may not have gotten much in the way of luxury, but I ate normal meals. My current emphasis on low-effort, nutritious food is the product of the way they did things at my previous school. Pardon my French, but at that place the principle was eat fast, shit fast. In the morning, we were kicked out of bed at 6 a.m. sharp for roll call, exercise and running. And once all that was done, everyone made double time to the mess hall for breakfast. The way the schedule worked out, we never had more than a few minutes to eat that meal. Anyone who took their time would get a dressing down from one of the seniors, so everyone stuffed whatever food they could grab into their mouth and forced it down their throats as fast as possible. Lunch was slightly different in that the sheer amount of food they gave us became a challenge. The piles of meat and vegetables would have been hard enough to handle alone, but they'd throw in a heaping bowl of rice as well. We were expected to cram all that into our stomachs in about 10 minutes, washing it down with miso soup. Naturally, we weren't allowed to leave a scrap of food on our plates. Vomit it up and they'll tell you to push it all back down again. In other words, the taste was not exactly the first thing on our minds. I never enjoyed eating that much in the first place, so once my meals became outright painful, approaching food in a purely business-like fashion felt like a natural response. Nothing but rice and beans for lunch might seem sad to Amani, but I'm not fighting my friends for a can of food, and I've even got fruit as a dessert. By my standards, this is high class. This is a high-class, elegant meal. I mean, you're always making this face that just screams, I'm only eating because I have to. Can't we do something about that? If my face is putting you off your food, I suggest you don't look at it. Geez, you're such a wet blanket. Your beautiful big sis is offering to make you lunch, so this is the part where you stop being stubborn and say thanks. What now? Nothing. Yeah, you're right about this one. Sorry. Huh? What? You're suddenly going along with it? This is a little freaky. Well, can't hurt to play along once in a while. To tell the truth, I had a similar discussion in the past with another pushy woman, ended up turning into an outright fight. A certain busybody German had this habit of coming to the mountain cabin where I lived with the master, mainly to subject us both to the shrill nagging session. She'd barge in, clean up without even asking permission, make food nobody asked for, and then leave just as quickly. I think the woman must have gotten some sick pleasure out of it. One day in particular, I got pretty indignant when she put away some book I was in the middle of reading. I ended up firing off the line, "You're not my damn mom," with predictably unpleasant results. Well, it wasn't the first time we fought, and it's true that I found her constant meddling annoying. So I honestly told her as much. Serious mistake. The woman in question, already a full-grown adult, spat out the supremely childish words, "Fine, see if I care." And then, of all things, she broke down in tears, leaving me in a completely bewildered panic. Since that disastrous experience, I've learned a lot about how to handle women. The first lesson is knowing when to back down is crucial. Don't resist a woman's kindness. When a woman gets worked up, words won't get through to her. And the most troublesome lesson of all, women of the busybody type remember the smallest grudges through all eternity. I'm happy you're willing to make lunch for me, but don't feel like you have to do it every day. I'd appreciate it when you have the time. Sorry, you know, I wasn't really trying to be that pushy about this, but, well, I mean, I know your intentions were good, Amani. I don't have a reason to refuse that would satisfy him. Not one I can bring up here, at least. Anyway, I'm not looking to make the atmosphere in the classroom awkward over something like this. As for Amani, I don't know how she interpreted my sudden change of tune, but she sounds downright contrite about her aggressiveness. We're both being mature about things all of a sudden. Guess the two of us are still capable of being reasonable with each other. Seems like a good sign. Anyway, it's time to chow down. I'm hungry, hombre. Nom nom. Hey, there goes the last of Yuuji's beans. More? Since when? Who could have done such a thing? You know no shame. Well, a healthy appetite is a good thing. Talk like that and she'll take your rice balls and apples too, you know. apples are my number 2 fav, right after strawberries. Oh, this guy looks tasty indeed. You just had an apple this morning. Don't be such a glutton. I don't really mind giving her the apple, but I thought you said Machina didn't have that big an appetite. Well, I guess it'd be better to say her eating habits are totally unbalanced. She won't eat at all for a while, but when she does, she'll pack away 3 meals at once. Sounds like a bit of an exaggeration. I drop my hand on Machina's head with a thump. Where would the kid be storing all that in this tiny body? I had the same thought, but it's a fact. Some nights she'll polish off a huge dinner, then sidle up to me and say, I'm hungry, 5 minutes later. Well, everybody has days like that. No, they really don't. Strange. Maybe she works like a mole or a rhino, inefficient at absorbing energy from her food, so she has to keep stuffing herself or she'll starve to death. Let's not waste time talking about this. I'll spread out the lunch. Machina, give me a hand. Aye! For a second, I thought I saw a shadow fall across Amana's face, but she and Machina quickly got to work. They dragged nearby desks and chairs up to mine, creating one large island. It's nothing special, but enjoy. Amana pushes one of the stacked lunch at me. Inside there's deep-fried tofu covered with red bean paste, accented with thinly sliced boiled daikon radish. Not to mention broccoli with sesame sauce, fried burdock root, Kyoto-style grilled mackerel, and chicken meatloaf. Together they make it an amazingly well-balanced and elaborate meal. Holding back at this point would be downright rude. I thank her for the food and extend my chopstick to the sliced daikon radish. Amana's cooking is somewhat light on the seasoning. I noticed as much before when I had dinner in her room, but to my tongue used to preservatives and artificial coloring, her food seems extremely gentle. Probably because I haven't eaten real home cooking in a long time, it tastes even better than I expected. Delicious. What was that? Amana, you really are an excellent cook. I told you so. Amana's the best, right? Well, I was born into a family of cooks and all, and didn't you already eat my cooking just the other day? Yeah, true. The dinner in her room was a simple stew, and the main ingredients were just some off-the-shelf fish products, so there weren't any real surprises. But this meal has a vaguely nostalgic essence of home cooking. The taste calls up faded memories of meals my mother served me. Honestly, it's a bit of an emotional jolt. My mom used to say, I don't care if you turn out stupid or plain-faced, but you're gonna learn how to make food. I got a lot of cooking lessons ever since I was a kid, you know. Hey, Oni-chan, I'll feed ya. How about an egg? Want an egg? Say, No, I'll feed myself, thanks. Come on, Even eating with others like this is a concession on my part. This is going way past ticklish and into the seriously awkward territory. Machina thrust the omelette toward my nose with a clumsy grip on her chopsticks. I instinctively pull back and turn a frank scowl in Amana's direction. Hey, Amana. Do something about this girl, or so my glance was intended to convey, but instead Amana bites her lower lip lightly and an irrepressible smile spreads across her face. Grabbing a Kinpara burdock root, I don't know what that is, with her chopsticks, she pressed it toward my face, which I turned away from Machina's attack. Come on, Brutus. Etu. You've got cute girls on both arms hand-feeding you, you know? Royal treatment, am I right? That's right, you know. How about you get the message already? That's my line. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Theoretically, I should gain distance, then suppress each target individually. Step 1, I need a chance to take evasive action. Have to create some sort of distraction. Everyone in this room is now a potential weapon of last resort. My frantic gaze settled on Sakaki sitting alone in silence, picking food from a catered lunch with her chopsticks. Sakaki, I'm begging you. As Sakaki glances toward us out of the corner of her eye, I send her a desperate SOS with my gaze. Her own silent message follows. Please don't think you're going to drag me into this. A truly cold and heartless answer. A brief, try to eat a little more silently from your mouth could save my life, and you abandoned me? I've just witnessed with my own eyes a tragic moment. Long years trusting in a superpower's umbrella, forbidden from developing a military, still shedding blood and sweat in defense of our nation, all come to naught. Sakagi, my friend and ally. In the end, was I nothing to you but a shield against the menace of Amane and Magna? A sacrifice to suffer in your place when the time came? No reason to despair, Kasami Yuuji. From the start, you were a mere pawn in the great game, a dog, kept alive on the whims of your masters, and you threw away the right to expect mercy from God a long time ago. Didn't you know as much? It's too late now to think of the national interest. All that's left to me is to embrace this moment of reckoning, endure the endurable, suffer the insufferable, find the cool serenity of the still water. Is this annoying to you? What? Getting pushed into my little games and all. It's probably a pain, isn't it? Maybe you just want me to leave you alone. Maybe this is incredibly annoying. But it's the best I can do right now. I can't think of any other way. I don't know how about your past. Even if I did, I couldn't do anything about it. Other than offer hollow sympathy, which I won't. I know how miserable that feels on the receiving end. I guess I'm just doing this to make myself feel better. Sorry, but could you grin and bear it for my sake? In other words, just give up already. Come on, open wide. This Sue Amane woman is too clever at times. When she puts it like that, no matter how badly I want to escape the situation, there's no way I can bring myself to run away. That ruthless way she cuts off my path of retreat is nostalgic in a way. Reminds me of my big sister. Then again, compared to Kazuki, I guess Amane's methods are almost charming. As that thought passes through my head, the tension naturally drained from my body and I let my mouth fall open. The kimpara she throws in my mouth has the same simple light seasoning, the same taste of home. Tasty? Yeah. The food is good, to be sure, but what with this stifling feeling? The reassuring taste of home cooking, the experience of eating with others, these are exactly the sort of things people associate with intimacy and happiness. But in counter-reaction to the peaceful atmosphere, a dark thought spread through my mind. I shouldn't be sitting here. My chest feels tight, drawing breath is uncomfortable. I'm off balance. I know exactly why. I've spent 1.5 years since my master's death keeping my distance from others. In that time I've grown starved for this sort of contact. And I don't want to admit that to myself because that means facing the question. Do I deserve an ordinary life? Do I have the right to an everyday routine existence, living for small moments of happiness? It's fine. Huh? It's fine. Go ahead and have some from my share. Yeah. That's right, you're a grown boy. Eat it all up, get nice and plump. Come on, and... Look, I told you I can feed myself. I've got to get used to this sort of thing sooner or later. I want to believe that, but there's part of me that can't. Even now there's a nagging discomfort in the corner of my mind. There's always a side of me that accepts and a side of me that denies. And in a fight, the side that denies always comes out on top. I guess that's the first thing I should try to fix about myself. Is there a reason I can't stay broken? An obvious question, but I think I'll leave it for another time. Just like at any other school, the start of a recess period here means that someone runs off to buy drinks for the group. There was a similar system at my previous school, so the event itself is familiar. The fact that our designated gopher puts on a maid uniform for the task, on the other hand, is still going to take some getting used to. Alright everyone, please let me know what you'd like to drink. I feel a little bad that you're always the one to do this. Green iced tea, please. Think nothing of it. I'd be making the trip to buy my own anyway. Alright, green iced tea for Amane-san. Okay then, milk tea for me. Yes, milk tea for Michiru-sama, of course. I'd like some lemon tea. The usual sugar-free variety, I assume? Certainly. Kazami-san, what's your pleasure? What's available? Well, for the most part, I think I should be able to obtain anything you request. In that case, I'll have university. Thought I'd keep the tea combo going. Okay, look, you just made that tea up. Hold the gum syrup. There's no such thing, okay? University? Okay, look, Satya, the way you try really hard to understand everything you're told is a strength of yours, but sometimes it's also a weakness, you know? And you, Yuuji, you know Satya takes everything seriously, so don't confuse her with your stupid jokes. I'll go with synchronity! Now look what you've done, now that dim-witted copycat's doing it too. True, my bad. But when you offer me anything, I think it's only natural to want to explore the limits. Okay, then I'll go with water. Make mine non-carbonated. Non-carbonated, is it? In other words, you just want mineral water. Ah, certainly, now I understand. And how about Maki-chan? Okay, I'll take some milk. Make mine non-carbonated. Milk isn't carbonated in the first place. And what the heck was that with that attempt at a cool guy voice? It's my own Oni-chan impression. Not a problem. Her impression is bizarre. Nothing she is saying makes any sense. I'm at a real loss. Where do I even begin? Why the glare in my direction? This is all your fault, that's why. In other words, normal milk would be acceptable? Yeah, get me the tastiest one. The tastiest milk? Certainly. I'll be on my way then. Please excuse me. With those words, Sakshi picks up the hem of her skirt and bows to us, then quietly leaves the classroom. Seriously, what a pain. Makina has been imitating Yuuji in anything and everything lately. Well, this girl's always been easily influenced, like that foul mouth of hers. Hate to say it, but she picked that up from you, Amane. I'm not foul-mouthed, okay? I'm just the type to say what I'm thinking instead of stewing over it forever. Yes, and as she's telling you, that was a bad influence on the girl. Not to say that little foul language strikes me as that much of a problem. Well, yeah, compared to how she was at first, I think this is an improvement, sort of, maybe. What? Was the girl even worse when she arrived here? That's not it, it's just, let's see. She used to be a lot quieter, you know. Meek as a kitten, really. Didn't take to anyone, didn't talk to anyone. Spent all her time playing with dolls by herself. Geez, you don't gotta bring up ancient history here. Anyone has a thing or two in their past they don't want others to know about. And if you're attending a school like this, merely touching on the subject is probably enough to make some old wounds ache. There seems to be an established principle of mutual restraint when it comes to these sore spots. Our conversation shifts fairly smoothly away from the details. Well, the point is, compared to the fragile Makina we used to know, the current edition is an improvement. I don't feel like I've changed that much myself. No, but you've even started eating tofu lately. Tofu? This girl is a ridiculously picky eater, you know? She only eats the stuff she likes, and she only likes bread and fruit. It was a real pain getting her to eat anything else, but all of a sudden she's gotten a lot better about trying new things. That's because Oni-chan. Having favorite foods is fine, but don't reject something you haven't tried. At least eat some before you decide to hate it. So the man says, experience is the most useful possible form of knowledge, a precious privilege preserved for those who manage to stay alive. Sometimes the most instructive and memorable lessons of all come from the death of your comrades. But I wasn't trying to preach to Makina or make any complicated arguments about her values. I just wanted to get across that ignorance isn't something you should cling to proudly. You're only embarrassing yourself when you insist that you hate some food you've never eaten. Well, I'm honestly happy that she stopped with the picky eating. Not so much that she started imitating Yuuji in all these weird ways, though. For example? Like I said, the way she talks. Haven't you noticed Makina's language getting weirdly arrogant and pompous lately? I wonder whose fault that might be. You're blaming me? You're the only person here who talks like that. Hey Makina, seems like you've been coming off as a little arrogant lately. Better watch your step, got it? Duly noted. Look, this is exactly what we're talking about, okay? Ah, you talking to me, punk? Okay, what's with the sudden aggression? Well, the girl has always been easily influenced by others, and if you consider the positive effects it had on her, is there really any reason to force her to suppress that habit? Oh, wise words. This girl knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just gotta lay off. Nice going, Yushiko. Who's Yushiko? I'm Yumiko. I'd appreciate it if you didn't scramble my name for your amusement. Huh? That really worth getting mad about? I mean, couldn't we get her to just imitate our better habits? I think the problem's with the sample she's working off, to be honest. I really don't think you can talk. Thanks to everybody, I'm pretty happy right now, you know. I got my own cheerfulness from Amani, I learned to enjoy books through the Yumi-chan, I picked up hard work and not giving up easy from Sachin, and Uni-chan showed me how to be strong and live with courage, something like that. I guess pretty much everyone except Zero taught me something, you know. That startled me, actually. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Learn from me too, like my Sundara skills or something. Why would I do that? What's that crap even good for? What? Can you please stop flatly denying my entire way of life without even batting an eyelid? It's okay, now that I think about it, I'm learning from Qa'Rajh too, you know, as a negative example. What the heck? You just called me an idiot after all! Yep, but I love you. Huh? I love you a whole lot, Qa'Rajh, so it's okay. Okay. I don't really get it, but yeah, really? What do you think? Mugging your ruthlessly then switching to Lobby-Dobby mode at the end for maximum contrast. Sundara enough for you? Okay, I'm pissed off after all. Huh? But it's true that I like you a whole lot, you know? It's fun having you around, Qa'Rajh, even if you are an idiot. To that effect, nice to hear. Thanks so much. Ah, jeez, don't call me an idiot. Only idiots call people idiots. Got it? Whoops, the break's already over. Huh? Sachin's really slow getting back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble. Why don't you call her if you're worried? Yeah. Hello, Sachin. Where are you? Huh? The station platform? What are you doing out there? What? Hokkaido? Why on earth? Wait. No, that's really okay. It doesn't have to be that fresh. You really don't have to go that far. What's this? What happened? It seems like Sachin took the tastiest milk a little too literally. She was planning to go out to Hokkaido and milk a cow. That woman's devotion knows no limits. Anyway, come back right now. What? An airplane ticket? No, you really don't need to bother by standing by for an open seat, okay? You don't have to go out there. They sell fresh milk from Hokkaido in the supermarket right here. To remember, just buy that and come back. Please? Okay, I think I might have been right about this one. Makina's personality getting warped might have been inevitable, considering the references she's working from here. Well, not to say that I'm any exception. And that's where we'll end this episode, so we shall see what the principal has in store for us in the next episode. But until then, take care.